Buddy, this is Dr. John Michael Salvato, your organic living and peak performance coach, and this is the Mindshift Mastery Series, day 22. And today's a day that I'm particularly excited about sharing with you guys because I was so tempted to just bump this up a couple days because it's a topic that I love, and you guys will certainly recognize the material as we start to talk about it. Welcome, Amanda. And for those who are watching on the remote broadcast, which unfortunately today is not happening live because I am a little bit under the weather, so I don't have it posted live on the blog yet. It's in draft mode because I haven't posted the rest of the post. So those who join us, make the commitment to join us on the live broadcast today. We'll see it live. Everybody else will see it in about a half an hour. So I apologize in advance for that. But guys, here's today's topic. Today's topic, and it looks like Google Hangouts is as glitchy as can be today. It's one of the reasons why I prefer using other platforms over Google Hangouts, because Google has kind of put the Hangouts on air on the shelf as far as supporting them. But here's the topic today. The topic is, if you want to discover yourself, you want to find yourself, the way to do that is by looking at what's being reflected back to you from other people. And we've talked about this on numerous other broadcasts, especially on the Inner Alchemy program. But today I really want to talk about it because it's also a good barometer of what's going on in your business. If you want to know where you need to refine and sharpen your skills, look at what's happening on your team. Look at what's happening with the people that are in your business, because they're always going to be a direct reflection of what you need to work on. And what I mean by that is, when you, we've talked about from the metaphysical standpoint that everything that we think, all of our beliefs, create our experiences. But that also has its manifestation in the physical and psychological world, in that your people are never going to do what you tell them to do. They're going to do what they. Hang on, I have to mute you, Amanda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm really easily distracted today.
There.
So people are not going to do what you tell them to do. They're going to do what they see you do. So if what they're seeing is showing up on social media every once in a while, then that's going to be what they imitate. If you're there today and then you disappear for 4 days and then you come back, they're going to say, well, that's the way that my upline works, and it must work for them. So I can do that. If they see you consistently being there, then that's going to be reflected in the experience of your group. If they see you consistently enrolling people, consistently making calls, consistently training and supporting people, and engaging people on social media, then that's going to be reflected in your business as well. But let's talk about this in a broader sense. When you share wisdom with somebody or share knowledge with somebody, and they take that and apply it to their lives, within that application, you're seeing a reflection of yourself. When you tell somebody you love them and they smile at you, or they give you a hug, you're getting a reflection of who you are. When you berate somebody or beat somebody down, especially when you lack the professionalism to do that privately, and you do that in front of other people, you're seeing reflected something about yourself that you're not comfortable with. Something about yourself that you're projecting your own insecurities on someone else, and you can immediately recognize that there's some part of you that thinks you're unworthy or not good enough, and so you're reflecting that out. You're projecting that out to other people, and it's being reflected back to you in the way that you're being hurtful to others. So we have to be mindful of the things that are going on around us all the time, because those things are the best way to discover who we are. They're the best way to discover what we need to forgive, what we need to release, what we need to work harder to refine and hone in terms of our skills. So let's go ahead and Amanda, I'll go ahead and unmute. I apologize that I'm so easily distracted today. Normally background noise doesn't bother me, but guys, I've been off my meds for several days. I am really pushing to even be able to be heard today. So I apologize in advance. This is just not going to be one of my better broadcasts, to be sure. But let's talk about that. And Amanda, if you talk, it'll give my voice a rest too.
Okay, first off, can you hear me? Because I'm trying this mic again. Awesome. Okay, yeah. If you would ask me the question one more time, because I was trying to help Ida and Jennifer connect.
Sure. The question is, what were your thoughts as you started to look at this topic, at what's happening around you? Is not only a reflection of what you're creating mentally, metaphysically, but also how, if you want to discover yourself, discover those areas that need to be worked on, discover those areas that are exceptional, then just look at the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis.
Well, this is, like everything, it's a process. And I'm actually very surprised at the response that I'm getting from people in light of some things that have happened with me in just the past 72 hours. And I've come to realize, especially today, that the way that I react to certain situations is going to show people the level or lack of growth that I've been having. There's all, and this encompasses all aspects in my life, my personal, my business, my spiritual, all of that. I am finding that by making choices that are best for me, that are more calm, that I'm getting better response from the majority of people. There's always going to be those people that it doesn't matter how good, positive, great you are, in what you do, they're never going to respond positively. That's just something that we have to accept. But by and large, it's been a hugely positive experience for me. And it's interesting that this is the topic today, because this morning when I was posting on Instagram, this was exactly what I searched on for my pictures to post. So the timeliness of it has been absolutely amazing. And
awesome.
Getting good response on it too is even better.
I think, would you not agree that, even when, and this is what I've always found so interesting, when there are things that I'm sort of resisting, changes that I know I need to make, decisions that I know are already made in my mind and in my heart, them into action, those things have a way of being reflected around me. A good example will be when the best example I can think of is when there's toxic people in your business, when there's toxic people in your life or in your workplace, and that it's time to sever those ties. There a lot of times I will say, well, maybe I haven't tried hard enough to salvage that relationship. Maybe I can be a little more patient with a person's neuroses, or maybe I can be a better example to that person, and I put off cutting those ties. We see that with people who who are alcoholics or have addictions very often. That the enabler or enablers around them just want to keep giving them that extra chance, that second chance. And what we do when that happens is we force the universe to respond in a way that is healthy and wholesome for us. That is, hey Jen, that we force the universe to respond in a way that says, hey, you know what, you're putting off doing what you know you need to do, so we're going to help you make it happen. And
Right.
unfortunately, when that happens, it's chaos,
Hmm.
because we are resisting making the change that we know we have to make, and so the universe has to, basically hit us over the head with, here's how that change is going to go down. You don't want to make the, you don't want to make the break. You don't want to do what you have to do to move your life forward. Well, now we have to create drama, and I
Well, and
truly believe that's how drama happens. Yeah.
yeah, and not to interrupt you, but that makes me think of when you think about the process of refining metals, specifically gold and silver. That refining process is just a constant reheating of the substance to where all of the impurities, the dross, comes to the surface.
It gets burned
Just
off.
like when we have people in our lives that are, hugely negative or toxic to us, it always comes to the surface eventually. And we have to remove that. And in removing that, that's part of that refining process. And once and of course the goal is always to get to that pure state. That's just the path that we're all on, trying to get to that pure state. But when you get to that pure state and you can see your reflection in it, just like a mirror, and that's when you can see all of the great positive things that are going on in your life, and
Absolutely.
you can react positively to it that way.
And you begin to recognize, at least I think, you begin to recognize too, whenever those breaks have taken place. I mean, I'll give you a good example. In my business journey, I've had sponsors who have dropped the ball constantly. In 35
Hmm.
years, I mean, I've had 4 sponsors. I've had sponsors who disappear for weeks at a time. I've had sponsors who disappear for months at a time. I've had sponsors who told me how they're going to be there to help me do webinars every single day, and or presentations every single day, or phone calls every single day, and then they're just never available. I've had members of my team who have told me that they're going to do that, they're going to move the sun, move, and the stars, and you don't have to recruit anybody else because I'm going to be your superstar, and then they disappear. Or they sit around doing nothing, or they have shiny ball syndrome and they're trying to do 5 businesses at once. You know, the every time that happens, when I realize, hey, it's time for me to do what's best for me and to look at what's being reflected in this situation, and let go of the times when I've been a bad sponsor, let go of the times when I've been a shitty distributor, and then what happens is, so I make the break. I say, okay, I'm done waiting for this person to be there for me. I'm done waiting for these people to make my business happen. The relationship with that person actually becomes healthier. That doesn't mean that I have them back in my life. It doesn't mean that we bring toxic people back into the fold, but the relationship becomes healthier because it's no longer toxic. When you've made that break and said, you know what, this isn't where I belong anymore, I'm moving on in a different direction. I like to tell people, bless that situation with love. Don't say, and I hope you get what's coming to you, because you're not the karma police. Just say, I bless that situation with love. This person is toxic. This person has issues. This person no longer is sharing my values or my core values, my goals, whatever. Uh, but then bless it with love, because that person is reflecting back to you an opportunity for growth. Period. And we can't. It's easy for us to a lot of times get in that mode where I call it the new age mentality, where we remember and we affirm all these things when things are going great. Oh yeah, this my business is abundant because I'm doing the right stuff. I'm My business is growing because I use the law of attraction. But we forget that the law of attraction also attracts those shitty experiences,
Hmm.
and it also attracts those toxic people, and those are opportunities. So when I have awesome people like you and Jen in my on my path, it's easy for me to say, oh, I love doing these programs because these people get it. They really participate. They bring their passion and their love for life and for their business to the process. But then when I have toxic people that come along, I'm not grateful. and I consistently have to catch myself and say, hey, wait a minute, why am I not grateful because so and so has just pulled a crazy and toxic stunt? They're reflecting something back to me that really and truly is more valuable than the people that are a pleasure to work with.
Mm.
Because the people that are a pleasure to work with don't really force me to grow. We grow together, but that's a gradual process. The people that are assholes, they are an opportunity to grow at rapid fire pace. The people that don't support us on our journey, they're opportunities for us to grow at rapid fire pace. The ones who push our buttons.
My biggest challenge with that is once that BS flag goes up. Come on. Once that BS flag goes up, then I recognize it, but I don't always act on it. I sometimes wait until there's just too much discomfort and pain, that I really could have avoided a long time ago.
Yep. And that's what causes, the Buddha said that there are two things that cause suffering. One is reaching for things outside of ourselves that we perceive as bringing us pleasure, and the other is trying to push anything away that we perceive as causing us pain. So we create the drama in our own lives when we don't take action on those things the minute that our intuition tells us. And our intuition is our greatest friend. Jen, weigh in on this. What did you think when you started to work with this material today?
Well, I've just been really, well, for a very long time, I haven't found myself. I actually had my brother, he's like, what happened to Tigger? That was my nickname when I lived in Philly, was Tigger. Because I was always, running around, happy, jumping around, hugging everybody. I was a very goofy, fun, silly person. And then I moved down here, got into a really toxic relationship, and I lost myself. And the last 4 years, I've been finding myself, and in the last, about 2 weeks, I have found more of myself than I have before. And he actually commented, he's like, dude, I'm seeing my old Tigger again.
Right on.
I'm seeing my sister again. My mother, when she saw me at Disney World, she's like, I found my best friend again. You were gone. Where did you go? And I'm like, I'm back, so can we just go with that right now? So yeah, it's been interesting, basically reclaiming parts of my soul, as it were, from the toxicity that it was. And it's been interesting.
Right on. Wow, that's powerful. I mean, it's been a pleasure watching that process, that unfolding process of who you are in your blogging. I mean, I really and truly, I don't, when I say, you're an awesome writer, when I say, that I appreciate the stuff you're putting out there, just like Amanda's videos, I don't say those things just because I want to give you a little boost in the arm. I don't come from that school of thought. Especially not when there's a relationship there where you're relying on me to help you grow and to encourage growth. So I'm never going to say, that was a great post if it's not. I will also never be the kind of tacky, unprofessional person who calls somebody out in front of a group of people. So I'm never going to post on your wall, oh, that wasn't one of your finest posts, or that wasn't one of your finest videos, Amanda. That's just unprofessional and spiritually and emotionally immature. I will tell you privately, so don't worry. I'm not. That serves no purpose other than to try and boost your own ego when you do that to somebody. In fact, just recently I had an experience where I thought I was encouraging somebody positively to just let some petty bullshit go, and had absolutely no idea that the petty bullshit that they were writing about on their Facebook wall was directed at me. I was clueless because it was a misinterpretation of reality. That person assumed that I was posting about them, and there were more important people and things on my radar than them. So I thought, oh, that's a shame. This person just got really off track, and I'm just going to give them some words of encouragement. I thought I was encouraging them, and then it turned into this ridiculous drama of, oh, you're a horrible person, and I never wanted you to mentor me in the first place, and blah, blah, blah. And I had to stop in that moment and say, wow, what is this person reflecting back to me? And what can I do that would set the quickest example, not only for that person and the people on their wall, but for my team and for you guys who are my family on this journey. And really and truly, I stopped and thought, everything I do right now has got to be a reflection back to Jen and to Amanda and to Mike and to the people that are doing the work. To Jordan and to Dee, and I made the decision that, hey, you know what, I have got to just let this go, because there was part of me that just wanted to say, wake up, this isn't about, the whole world's not about you, to the other person. And that wouldn't have solved anything, because I thought about times that I saw that person doing the same thing to other people, calling them out on a public chat, calling them out on on a phone call or on a video. And for me, that's what set the stage for today's topic. Was, you guys do such a fine job of reflecting back the things that I'm sharing with you on a daily basis, and that isn't a comment about me. It's a comment about you. It means you're dedicated and committed to the process, and that just brings me joy. When you told me the story of just now of your mom and your brother saying that they got you back, not that I think I had anything to do with that, but just hearing that kind of growth in a person's life, that just brings me joy. I mean, that had a Kodak moment, and I was glad that the video is choppy, because I could wipe my eyes and not look like it was what it was. So thank you for that. And I hope that this 200-day Mindshift mastery pours over into everybody's life like that, and isn't just about building their business, and it isn't just about being happier for 30 minutes a day, but just starts to spill over into other areas of your life. And maybe a week from now or 2 weeks from now, when you're encountering somebody that's that smiles at you, you stop and think, this person's reflecting back the love and the light and the presence that I am. When somebody takes some wisdom that you share on your blog or on your videos, and you see that on their Facebook wall, I hope that you stop and say, wow, this person is reflecting back to me something that I am. And speaking of reflecting back to me, I see that Sandy is joining us on the call. Hey, Sandy, can you hear us?
I can.
Awesome. We don't have your video on. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
Well, no, it's in a box somewhere. I need to get it out and hook it back.
Okay. Well, you're perfect timing. I was just responding to, I don't know if you were catching any of what Jen and Amanda were sharing, or what I was sharing, but what did you think when you saw this thing today, the video today about the people around you reflecting you and helping you to discover who you are?
I assume you're addressing that at me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I've been gone since very early this morning, so I didn't catch it, but just let me give you my instant response to that statement.
Sure.
My instant response to that statement are, I sure hope so. But I don't mean to be egotistical at all about that, but I try to follow a spiritual path and an honorable path, and so I would hope that people see that in me, and I hope they know that about the way I do business. And in my business, I have always had referrals. Referrals have always come to me unsolicited, and they come through me through friends of people I have done business with. So in that regard, then, I say that it's an important topic, and I wish I'd have been here for the whole part of it.
Sure. Well, it's going to be posted on the blog. I apologize to everybody in the beginning that normally if you don't want to participate live in the discussion, you can go to the blog live at 2 o'clock and watch the show from there. That will be the process going forward from tomorrow onward. Today I am not feeling well. It's been too many days off my meds. I just borrowed a dose of Craig's meds to do today's show, and then I'm going to go and get meds when we're done today. But as a result of being really stiff and really twitchy, I was not able to get the blog done. It was more of a disaster trying to make it happen in the time frame that the meds kicked in. So I apologize to everybody for that. But yeah, catch the replay on excuse me, on that. And so let's just open it up to anybody else who wants to share anything. And I'm going to apologize again for something else that I just realized was because my cognitive function is not at peak at the moment. I've been forgetting to move the camera to the person who's talking on this Hangout. So you might see Jen talking and the camera's on Amanda, or Amanda talking and the camera's on me, or whatever. I apologize, guys. These will definitely be better in the future. Plus, Google is having major issues today as well. So, anybody else want to share anything? This was really a powerful for a small little group. This was a really powerful session, and I hope people take time to really reflect on how those around you are a reflection of you, and that's an opportunity for you to discover every single day, every single moment, more and more of yourself. Whether it's good or bad, when somebody is reacting to something that you've said or done in negatively, just look for what's being reflected back to you, and it's an opportunity to forgive yourself, an opportunity to let go of a behavior, an opportunity maybe to just communicate more effectively. Sometimes people respond to the things that we say or do, inappropriately to our intention, but I always like to take 100% responsibility and say, what could I have done to make that intentionality a little clearer in that person? And if you follow the lunar cycles, when the moon is waning, is a really good time for you to just take a look at your life, at what you can what you can let go of, and what new things can begin to manifest, because you've created room in your life for goodness to flow back in, where brokenness and fear and false beliefs might have been taking up all of the room on the hard drive of your subconscious. So anybody want to add anything to that?
Where you were talking about the post and the other party reading it wrong and thinking it was them personally, the only thing that popped into my head was, if the boot fits, it doesn't have to be yours. Go ahead and wear it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that was that I didn't realize that in this particular case, that was a person who was bad-mouthing me, in a number of circles, and so I just thought that her post was about somebody else doing that to her, and I just said, "I'll just let it go, because it's a reflection of them. When somebody's bad-mouthing you, that's about them. That's not about you." And she read in the group that I was when I said that that I'm not going to tolerate people bullying other people, and I'm not going to tolerate people telling other people what to do, and encouraging people not to participate fully. I was talking about a guy who's no longer with us, who was bad-mouthing that person who mistook everything, was actually bad-mouthing them, and I said, okay, that's it, you're out of here, because I'm going to tell you right now that every person that's a part of this group deserves respect, and you don't have to like what they're doing, you don't have to like their company, you don't have to like their business model. This isn't about your opinion of other people or my opinion of other people. And so I terminated them. And like you said, if the shoe fits, the person just revealed to me in their Facebook post that they were bad-mouthing me too, and I was blindsided because I wouldn't have expected that person to do so. But again, everything in life happens in perfect perfect order, if you will. You know, that the things that need to be revealed to us get revealed to us. The things that need to be let go of get let go of, and we move on, and we just allow that space in. You know, we have to allow that space in our hearts, and that was what the lesson was for me out of all of that, was to not forget to be grateful for what that person reflected back, for the opportunity that presented for tremendous growth, that will benefit our group. I mean, we'll see benefits of that experience for me, or from me, hopefully to you guys in the weeks to come, because it really made me stop and say, one of the things that I encourage you guys when you have those kind of experiences is, we just got done talking about not asking anybody for permission or asking for anybody's approval, and yet somebody throwing this toxic crap at me made me stop and think, wow, maybe I am doing a horrible job, and maybe it's my ego that makes me think that I'm serving these people well. And so I asked everybody, and the minute that I asked, I realized how unnecessary it was to ask. Because if we bring our best to the marketplace, then that should be enough. We shouldn't have to ask anybody else, is this my best? Because that's asking for approval. And I knew better. So, but I did it, and that presented an opportunity for me to grow and say, you know what, John Michael, at the end of the day, what matters is, are you bringing your best? Are you bringing love? Are you bringing value? And are you serving people compassionately? And if you are, then it doesn't matter whether anybody else likes it or approves of it or agrees that it's a value, because that's about them. It's not about you. And so your opinion of me is none of my business. And so that, even in the most horrible of situations, because I think that anytime people part ways on less than the best of terms, it's a tragedy. I don't care how bad or good anybody else perceives either one of those parties. When a relationship breaks, it's a tragedy. And you know, it's always for the better, but it's still sad that had to happen. And so we just have to, you know, I really wanted everybody to understand today that, good or bad, you have to bless it and say, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for reflecting back to me something that allows me to discover myself. And you really do, we're going to talk about this in coming days, have to develop a neutral mind. And that neutral mind means that we learn to eventually stop judging the experience as good or bad, and we simply recognize it as part of the process. You know, the process that Sandy, before you jumped on, Jen just shared a beautiful story about how in the recent weeks she's begun to find herself again. And that's been reflected in her journaling and her blogging, and that's been reflected in just in her countenance. I mean, the difference between you know, some of the earlier videos when she was a lot more. I mean, I would have assumed that she was this shy and meek and understated girl, and then I heard she was from Philly, and I thought, well, she must be from like the outskirts of Philly. And now we've actually come to see the Jen that you know, that she really is, which is exactly what you know, the opposite of what I perceived on those first couple of sessions that she sat in on. So, and that's been a joy to see.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's true. So, all right, guys. Well, we are at 2:37. So we've gone our half an hour. I encourage you guys, if there's more things you want to share, there's more ideas you want to share. Again, we've said it on several other shows. You know, feel free to post videos in the Facebook group, post comments on the blog. You know, I appreciate Sandy and Jen and Amanda that you guys are really participating fully. You comment on the blog, and you know, it might take me a day or two to get back to everybody on comments on the blog until my meds get back to a healthy level. But I promise you, I do take the time to read everybody's comment. My voice is going, the meds are wearing out. I do take the time to read everybody's comment. I do appreciate each and every one of you and your participation not just in the group, but in my life. And I hope that I reflect that back to you. I hope that I can be a clean mirror, that when you and I interact, you get to discover another beautiful part of yourselves. So stay in the moment. Be grateful for everything you've got. Be grateful for the reflection that every person in your life represents of an opportunity for you to discover yourself. And always remember, the best is yet to come. I'll talk to you guys later.